We're talking to Becky in Bismarck, North Dakota. She's a children's pastor, and she runs a summer camp for evangelical children there in North Dakota. Becky, how are you?
I'm doing very good.
Why kids? Why are they supposed to be some new army of God? Why are we using kids to do that?
Anyone who does any work with kids knows is because the reason you go for kids is because whatever they learn by the time they're 7, 8, 9 years old is pretty well there for the rest of their lives. And this is statistics that you can research for yourself.
No, I know these statistics, but you use the term learn. The word learn is different than indoctrinate. God gave us a brain. God gave us the freedom to choose, and learning is part of that choice. And I think every time the fundamentalist movement, Becky, interferes with that, we're doing harm. We're doing harm to the progression of mankind.
I don't think any child gets anything by choice. As I understood, your question to me was, do you feel it's right for the fundamentalists to indoctrinate their children with their own beliefs? I guess fundamentally, yes, I do, because every other religion is indoctrinating their kids. Hello, I would like to see more churches indoctrinating.
You can tell a child anything. Just like I said, you can tell a child, you can make a child into a soldier that carries an AK-47.
You could call it brainwashing, but I am radical and passionate in teaching children about their responsibility as Christians, as God-fearing people, as Americans, if you want to think.
Well, Becky, let me ask you this. How do we ignore that all of a sudden we're creating children soldiers for the Republican Party? How does that figure into anything that Christ had to say about how we should live our life on the earth?
I am not aware of any churches that are out there with a political cause. I'm not going after my kids politically, but that, because at the same time I want to say, and I don't have any problem saying to my children, we are pro-life.
I got to tell you, God is watching us. God has a very special place for those people who mess with our children. It's not a pretty place.
You know what? I'm not going to go there, Mike.
You know, what's always made this country special, what's always set this country apart is because there is something that we call a separation between church and state. That's always something that separates us and has separated us for 200 years. It has worked. I respect your right as a fundamentalist to teach your children whatever you want to teach them, but don't let that bleed over into the public sector. Don't let that bleed over into the schools.
I beg to differ with you. Christianity is important. We believe it's the most important religion in the world because it changes the lives of people.
But, Becky, it's a witch's brew. It's going to take over democracy.
I think democracy is the greatest political system on earth, but that's just it. It's just what's on earth. And it's ultimately designed to destroy itself because we have to give everyone equal freedom, and ultimately that's going to destroy us. And so the perfect world is not going to be perfect until Jesus is truly Lord.
Okay. Becky, thanks for joining us, okay?
You bet.
Oh, man. The more I hear about this, it just gets crazier and crazier.